Welcome back. They were the biggest rock group on the planet, knocking off the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Everything about Led Zeppelin was bigger. Their sound, their bad boy reputation, and that voice of lead singer Robert Plant. He was the self-proclaimed golden god of rock, and 40 years on, still singing and touring, he continues to inspire awe in his devotees, musicians and fans alike. Some of his antics have mellowed, but his voice is still sublime, and there's still a twinkle in his eye. For Led Zeppelin fans, this is musical heaven. A recording studio in the English countryside.
I mean, that's where A Whole Lot of Love comes from, really.
And a lesson in the blues from lead singer and rock legend Robert Plant. Plant's schoolboy obsession with America's Deep South blues gave birth to this. The all-conquering Led Zeppelin.
There's a lady, sure, all the glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
I didn't know about fame. I just knew that I had to try and take it into account that I might have been an accountant and I was a grammar school boy in the middle of a very post-World War II austere Britain. There must have been a way out, and I found it.
Led Zeppelin is now considered by many the greatest rock band of all time. It was 1969 when the music cosmos collided, when 4 British musicians joined forces. On lead guitar, the genius Jimmy Page. On bass, the understated overachiever John Paul Jones. The explosive John Bonham on drums. And fronting them, a precocious Robert Plant.
Hey, mama said the way you move don't make you sweat, don't make you groove.
Together, they were astounding.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Their sound, their edginess, their raw power. Where did the swagger come from? Where did the virility on stage come from?
I don't understand you.
Yes, you do.
What is the answer to that question?
You practiced, didn't you? You looked at home in the mirror.
Oh, no, don't be silly.
did.
I'm just a natural. Fake. I mean, it's fakery.
So you said earlier you didn't really know about fame. At some point, did you want to be famous?
I don't think fame was the term for it, really. We were just part of a huge... We were one part of a huge movement of youth culture that was going to change the world.
So the time was right for Led Zeppelin. The time was right for what you were doing.
The time was right for us all. It was almost... being a contributor in any form was way more important than being a hero.
But Led Zeppelin were both contributors and heroes, their phenomenal success allowing them to negotiate much higher royalties than even the Beatles. And on stage, their power was their unpredictability. A 5-minute song could blow out to a 45-minute spectacular with soaring guitar and drum solos. Audiences loved it, early critics hated it.
You know, as you say, the critics thought we were shite, you know, and some nights we were, but some nights we were better than anything that had ever walked that stage, you know.
What do you think made you the greatest things that walked a stage on some nights?
Oh, just absolute joy of playing together.
Because it had to be more than just the musicianship, didn't it?
No, well, it was just an exchange of energy and humour within it.
And why was it like that?
Because we were really getting off on it, and, you know, it was like, wow, that's good, try that. It's like, you know, it was a melange. It's good.
I'm gonna give you my love.
Off stage, they were anything but good. Led Zeppelin were given the keys to the kingdom. They could and did get away with absolutely everything. Drugs, groupies, they destroyed hotel rooms, even supposedly did a deal with the devil.
If you did do any research on this, you'd find out that I was in bed by 11 every night.
Who with?
Well, I think amnesia is a fantastic condition.
You know, it's a wonderful excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's in my case, it could be an exaggeration, it could be a lie, or it could be the truth. The good thing about it is you keep moving and you don't write a book.
Why was
That was pretty good, wasn't it? Did I do well there? My word, good job. I got family members here.
I know they're wonderful, but I'm feeling like we have a PG audience, and you were living an R-rated life, perhaps.
Oh, that's very good, T. That's very good stuff. You should think about doing this forever. Yeah, there was a lot of R rating going on. It was a very conservative America, and it was an incredibly conservative Australia.
It was 1972, the first and only time Zeppelin visited Australia. It was still early in their career, but already their bad boy reputation was well established.
It was interesting to wake up one night in the middle of the night in Perth, and I noticed there was a little bit of scratching and a little bit of shuffling around, and I looked and I saw the flash lamp at the foot of my bed, and there was a policeman in my suitcase, not inside it, but he was going through it, looking for anything to get us out of the country, anything at all to move us along.
Yeah.
No.
And they couldn't find anything.
They couldn't find anything, and neither could I.
Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes, flowers in her hair.
Away from the band, Robert lived a quiet life in the country with his young family. But his world was shattered when in 1977, his 5-year-old son Carrick was diagnosed with a respiratory infection and died.
I was very sceptical about even thinking about whether or not I had the right to be a parent and to just go back into that world, because it's very self-indulgent. And when we lost our boy, I applied to see if I could get a role as a teacher, because I wanted to be around, a way to enjoy and watch children at the peak of their time before they were spoilt by the ways of our world. So I had always thought, there's another thing I can do, there's another thing I can do.
For a moment there, had you lost your love of singing? Had you...
Well, no, I was detached, finally detached. I'd left it. But it's a terrible drug being a good singer. You know, I was off again. I had to go. John Bonham came around and induced me and seduced me. He used to come to my house in a 6-door Mercedes limousine, and in the middle of the countryside, so he could barely get it down the country lanes. And he had a chauffeur's hat, and he'd sit in the front, and I'd be like 3 doors back in this, and he talked to me through the intercom, and we were only going to the pub. And we say, now, come on, Percy, you know you can do it. It's great. You know you'll have a great time. And so, you know, back I went again.
John Bonham, best known as Bonzo, was a hard-drinking, larger-than-life character. Even as he lured Robert back to the band, they knew Zeppelin's time was nearly up. But it wasn't until Bonzo's death in 1980, after a marathon drinking binge, that the band officially called it quits.
We explored lots of music in those Sepp days, but by the time Bonzo drew me back in, it was over anyway, really. Because we'd done what we had to do. The world had changed. Other people had arrived. It was the beginning of a whole new movement. It's almost like we'd lost the keys to the kingdom.
It was the 80s after all, and the rock god became a pop star, covering a classic to please his mum.
But of course, Sea of Love was as cheesy as hell. And it was a huge hit just to prove that cheese counts.
Cheese is huge.
Yeah, yeah. What would we do without cheese? We would have absolutely nothing on the radio.
In the decades since Led Zepp, Plant has followed his musical heart wherever it might take him, from home in England to Africa, and right back to Middle America. In 2007, Plant added a touch of country to his repertoire, teaming up with bluegrass star Alison Krauss. For their efforts, they won a swag of Grammys and a whole new audience. But for the true believers, the only event of 2007 that mattered was the reforming of Led Zeppelin for a one-off performance. Bonzo's son Jason Bonham took his place on drums.
We just wanted to play and see what it was like and be good once. Because we'd been bad so many times in the interim since John passed away. It was time to be good, and we were.
Did any part of you worry about seeming ridiculous?
Yeah, of course. I'm the singer. I mean, singers, there aren't many guys who stand on their own in front of a microphone without either staring at their shoes or looking up at the sky. So the bare chest thing was definitely out. You know.
You didn't think about it twice?
I did think about it, but it would have taken a lot of work.
The London reunion was a sellout, but ever since, the pleas for a Led Zeppelin world tour have been ignored. And for that, many blame a busy Plant.
You know, the two other guys are both Capricorns, and they keep stum. They don't say a word, but they are quite contained in their own worlds. And they just leave it to me to do this.
To be the bad guy.
Yeah. No, I'm not the bad guy.
Well, you are for all those Led Zeppelin fans who'd love to say, yes, we're reforming.
Oh, fine, yeah. Well, then you need to speak to the Capricorns. Because I've got nothing to do in 2014, you know.
Oh, so it could be back on again, if I can convince the Capricorns.
If you can find them. Yeah.
There was a time when hotels like this might not necessarily want you to come and stay.
I'm not surprised. But they need all the help they can get right now, don't they?
At 65, Robert Plant is still intent on looking forward, finding new influences, and refusing to be defined by his mad, bad Led Zepp days. What was all that about, throwing things out of hotel windows and riding motorcycles down hallways?
All I can tell you is, that it's a wonderful day. And if you ask me another silly question, I'm going to put you over my knee. Which is what she'd probably been waiting for.
It is not what I've been waiting. And with that, the ever-charming, ever-cheeky frontman is off.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
It's understandable he's left Led Zeppelin behind. Equally understandable, his fans haven't.
Hang on.
Have you ever hugged a piece of steel?
Oh, no. That's what it is. A piece of steel.
God bless you. That's only a joke. Farewell, my dear.
Fairly well. Thank you so much.
Okay, nice to see you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. And Robert Plant will be touring here with his new band, the Sensational Space Shifters, next month. And to hear more of that interview, go to our Extra Minutes page on the website.